The Uppsala Model originated from the work of Swedish researchers Johanson and Vahlne during the 1970s at Uppsala University. The Uppsala Model, also known as the Uppsala internationalization model, is a theory that explains how companies gradually intensify their activities in foreign markets. The model claims that companies internationalize incrementally and move through several phases. The internationalization process is therefore incremental. Johanson and Vahlne say that this applies primarily to small and medium-sized companies. Now let's look at the construction of the model. The Uppsala model consists of two dimensions. On the horizontal axis is the form of the export. It is called the mode of operation. On the vertical axis are the individual geographical locations to which exports are made. These are referred to as markets or countries. On the horizontal axis under mode of operation, there are four methods of exporting: sporadic export, export via independent representatives, export via foreign sales subsidiary, and the fourth and final type, the foreign production and sales subsidiary. On the vertical axis labelled market or country, we list markets A, B, C, D, etc. In other words, the markets and countries the company exports to. Let's look more closely at the individual stages of internationalization according to the Uppsala model. In other words, the mode of operation. The first mode of operation is sporadic export. This mode has no regular export activities, and the company has no significant involvement in international markets. The second mode of operation involves exporting via independent representatives. The company begins exporting to international markets using independent agents or distributors, thereby minimizing the company's risks and investments. In this context, it is crucial for the company to trust its agent or distributors and to ensure that they do not disclose confidential information to competitors, whom they might also represent. The third mode of operation involves the establishment of a foreign sales subsidiary. As the company gains more knowledge and experience, it establishes its own sales subsidiary in the foreign market to better control its activities. The fourth and final mode of operation is foreign production. In this phase, the company might set up production facilities in the foreign market, signifying a substantial commitment and investment. The model emphasizes that it is essential to have market knowledge and a commitment to the market, to know the market and make contacts. The company's market commitment increases the more it connects to a new market. The exportation scale expands as one progresses to the right in the operation mode. Companies tend to begin international expansion by entering markets with low psychological distance. They often select countries and markets with similar languages, cultures, and business practices, since these factors demand less prior and new knowledge, thereby reducing risk. As the company enters more markets, its geographic diversification continues to grow. Internationalization is regarded as a process of experiential learning. Companies acquire experiential knowledge by engaging in foreign markets, diminishing uncertainty, and bolstering their commitment to these markets. An increase in market commitment, along with greater geographic diversification, leads to increasing internationalization. The concept of psychological distance is central to the model. It refers to the perceived differences between the home country and the foreign market. Companies start their internationalization process in markets with low psychological distance, and gradually move to more distant markets as they gain experience and confidence. Therefore, the company should begin with low-risk approaches to the mode of operation and markets and gradually increase its involvement as it gains knowledge and experience. The company Viking life-saving equipment is an example of the internationalization process depicted in the Uppsala Model. Renowned for manufacturing lifeboats and various rescue equipment for cruise ships, offshore and similar industries, Viking life-saving equipment exemplifies a firm's expansion into international markets. Viking life-saving equipment started in small premises at Esbjerg Harbour in Denmark in 1960 to produce life rafts for the fishermen in the city. Many of the fishermen's wives and mothers were working in the factory. The company thrived, evolving from a modest local business to gradually exporting to the Nordic countries and Germany. Fishermen from these regions noticed the Danish fishermen's life-saving equipment and desired the same. The exports were sporadic, with minimal market commitment, and the first markets were geographically close and culturally familiar. Later, exports became more systematic, and the company expanded with sales via commission through independent representatives in Norway, Sweden and Germany. The home market and the Nordics became too small. Viking began by looking at a larger geographical area in Europe. It was an obvious choice, as Viking had only a few significant competitors in England, Germany and France. Distributors and agents were assigned to handle sales in Europe, as their knowledge of these markets was still too little for the new cultures and market conditions. In 1977, Viking life-saving equipment established a foreign sales subsidiary in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, followed by several other ports in other countries, including Miami, Florida, USA, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Singapore, and Hong Kong. With a network of subsidiaries and an extensive network of service stations worldwide, Viking life-saving equipment has gained an international name and essential knowledge of individual markets and cultures. As sales grew across Europe, overseas markets, and ultimately worldwide, the production capacity in Esbjerg became inadequate and far away from sales locations. Consequently, manufacturing operations were established in multiple countries to accommodate this geographic expansion. Viking has since set up international production facilities in Norway, Bulgaria, Greece, Thailand, and China. Viking life-saving equipment has gone through all the phases of the model. They export to more and more markets and operate in all the modes. Thus, they are a classic example of how the model can describe a company's growth over time. Viking life-saving equipment is now an international company with over 3,000 employees. The organization spans 8 production facilities, 85 departments and subsidiaries, 8 training academies, and over 280 certified service stations. You can follow their further development on their website. Throughout the process, Viking encountered several challenges outlined in the Uppsala Model. They dealt with agents who were found to have close ties with competitors, leading to a lack of loyalty to Viking. This issue, which can take time to identify, may result in significant damaging effects on sales and establishing a foothold in the area before it becomes apparent. Viking life-saving equipment also reached distant markets in the east, where it was found that the logo with a Viking helmet with horns was not culturally acceptable. Therefore, their logo was changed to a purely graphic design without hinting at the Danish Vikings. These are a few areas Viking life-saving equipment encounters in its internationalization process. All companies will experience surprises, such as Viking life-saving equipment, during the Uppsala Model process. The advice is to get people on board with experience in the various markets and preferably the industry in which the company is a part. Now let's look at a critique of the model. Although the Uppsala model has been influential, it has also been subject to criticism and has been refined over time. Critics argue that the model underestimates firms' ability to skip stages due to factors such as technological advantages, strategic alliances, and acquisitions. In its original form, the model focuses heavily on internal processes and experiential learning, but does not consider the role of external factors such as government policies, market conditions, and competition. In response to these criticisms, Johanson and Vahlne updated the model in 2009 and incorporated network theory to reflect the importance of business relationships and networks in internationalization. The revised model recognizes companies can accelerate internationalization by leveraging networks and relationships to access resources, knowledge, and opportunities. This is implicit in the model via the arrows towards increasing market commitment and internationalization. Overall, the Uppsala model remains a valuable tool for understanding the dynamic and incremental nature of the internationalization process, which involves constantly building on one's knowledge and experience.